Hi, good morning, everybody. This is May 18th, 2021. This is a special development review committee meeting. If you'd like to participate in today's meeting, you'll need to email your phone number into planning@cityoflaverne.org. We will call you. Please indicate what agenda item you are calling in for, and we will call you at the appropriate time. We're going to call the meeting to order. It is 9:01 a.m. We'll do a quick roll call. My name is Eric Scher. I'm the Community Development Director.
Cody Alling, Deputy City Engineer.
Richard Martinez, Public Works.
Candace Bocock, Principal Planner.
All right. This is the time set aside for public comment. This is for time to submit public comment on items that are not on the agenda this morning. I'm just making sure we don't have any requests to speak. And I do not have any requests at this time. So we're going to close the public comment period and move on to the next item, which is the approval of minutes from May 4th, 2021. Do I have a motion to approve minutes?
Motion to approve.
Second. All those in favor? Aye. Okay, motion carries 3-0. Next, we're going to go to the first project on today's agenda, which is a lot line adjustments for the Amherst Street project. With that, Candace has a report.
Okay. This is case number 51-21 LLA and 52-21 LLA. The development of 42 single-family homes at 2820 Amherst Street and a portion of the adjacent parcel was approved by the City Council on April 19th of this year. The applicant Matt Waken with MJW Investments is now proposing 2 lot line adjustments to create a 5.576 acre parcel for the development of their approved homes. The properties are currently owned by the City of Laverne, and the northeast portion of the property is occupied by a city-owned and operated Amherst groundwater treatment plant. Both streets that dead end into the city's water treatment plant facility will be gated and used for deliveries to the water treatment facility and for emergency access vehicles. The City Council approved the vesting tentative tract map that allows for the 5.6 acre parcel of land to construct 42 homes to be sold as individual lots. The first lot line adjustment application is requesting to adjust the existing lot line to create parcel A, which is the 5.6 acres, and parcel B, which is about 1.5 acres. Parcel A will be sold to the applicant for the development of the 42 homes, and parcel B will remain city-owned property as it is the location for the Amherst groundwater treatment plant, which is attachment B. The second lot line adjustment is requesting to adjust the existing lot line to create parcel B, the 5.6 acres, and parcel A, 41.7 acres. Parcel B is the parcel where the approved 42 homes will be located, and parcel A is the existing Twin Oaks Mobile Home Park parcel. The lot line between parcel A and B will shift south about 2.75 feet to ensure the drainage is operating properly and they can access the area. And that lot line adjustment can be seen as attachment C. An EIR was prepared for this project. The mitigation measures are included in the EIR, which can be found on the city's website. With that, staff recommends that the DRC approve case numbers 51 and 52-21 LLA based on the staff report and the attached conditions of approval.
Thank you, Candace. I'm going to bring in your applicants now at this time, Waken and James Calamara. Before we begin with committee member questions, Matt, would you like to say anything or have any questions after Candace's staff report?
No, Candace did a great job. Thank you, Eric. I have Jim Calamura on the call, the civil engineer, and I think if anybody has any questions, I think we can direct them to Jim. We appreciate the DRC hearing it and hopefully approving it today. Thank you.
Okay. Do I have committee members' questions or comments?
I have one question, and maybe it's more of a comment. For the second lot line adjustment, would probably be a good idea to condition that to include an easement for any drainage carrying forward from the east side, as that will retain some drainage, will it not? So that might be something to add to the mix at this point.
I just want to clarify. So drainage from the east, the existing property to the north of that little leg that,
Yes. Yeah.
So you think that probably flows to the south and onto the east.
Alright. Jim, would you agree?
Yeah.
That was my recollection.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay,
So
So-
I think an easement could definitely be added into the track at such time it's appropriate. The easement would really, in effect, be to allow that one single family house that fronts on Williams to continue draining its runoff to this open ditch, V ditch that sits basically as a prolongation of the easement or the property that we're actually acquiring from the mobile home park. And actually the V ditch portion that extends beyond the easterly property line and goes about 60 feet further is included in the sale, because that's also mobile home park property currently. So the entire V ditch that's out there currently is owned by the mobile home park, including the piece that is basically in the backyard of that house on Williams. So we're going
Yeah, my
to,
recollection.
yeah,
Go
so
ahead,
the plan is to basically replace the V ditch, not the portion that is draining the single family house. That'll remain in place, but once it gets to the property line, the easterly property line of the Amherst tract, it'll go into probably just a 6-inch VCP storm drain pipe and be buried basically in the backyards of the homes that the backyards of those homes that are within the Amherst project. And it continues to be in a pipe all the way to the connection point that we now have on site along the westerly property line, which is also basically a homeowners association easement for all of the stormwater related pipes that we have over there. So yes, I agree with you, Cody, that we should probably have we should have an easement back there, probably a 3-foot easement or 2.5 foot easement, so that
Yeah, something to take care of your pipe. Yep.
yeah, so if there's ever an issue with the storm drain pipe back there, that the homeowners association can go back there and repair it or do whatever needs to be done.
Great.
Richard?
So the two streets in there that dead end are gonna have gates attached to the treatment plant?
Yeah.
Is that the way
Yes.
it is?
That's correct. One was provided for fire access. And then the other one was provided for the convenience of the tanker trucks that come into the site, back up, do their thing, and want to leave. Technically, they should be able to leave out the same driveway in terms of the turning, but it makes it just easier just to go through the property.
Yeah, and Jim provided turning templates with the design vehicles, so I was satisfied with how they got that all
Right,
set up.
right. In most cases, that gate probably won't be a existing case on some certain buildings.
Anything else, Richard?
No, that's all.
So I do have 2 questions or comments. So just clarify for me, the existing wall on the south property line, it's on the north side of the V ditch or the south side?
The existing wall is actually south of the V ditch. So it's a strange situation. The mobile home park actually owns the wall, and then 3 feet beyond the wall to the north where the V ditch is.
Got it.
So
Okay, so,
right now they can't even get to the V ditch.
right,
It's an odd situation, so.
right. So with this in the project, you are constructing a new wall, but this existing wall that's there today, that remains, right? So you're building an additional wall, or does that wall come down?
No, the existing wall remains in place, and really when we talk about wall, we're really talking more like a retaining curve on our side. And it's going to vary. The final design will determine that, but we anticipate that it would be no higher than 3 feet, and it'll be entirely buried. And that's basically that second wall that is to be built on the Amherst project is to prevent any type of additional surcharge onto the existing wall.
Right,
So, if that wall were already pre-designed to take the surcharge, then it would just have on one side of the wall would be 3 feet higher in terms of the finished surface.
right. I was just making sure that there's, with that retaining wall and the footings, and we're talking about this new underground drainage pipe, that all that can still work in that same area, right? Because that drainage pipe can't really move too far to the north from the existing V ditch, right? Are you able to
I
do-
think we could probably work with the elevations to get it out of the footing.
But it'll be right up against it pretty much, right?
If you carry the same alignment as the ditch today, yeah. Yeah, but because it's a piping and moving it around, you could probably
Go up.
adjust, yeah, there's probably some leniency in the elevation to make that work.
Okay. My other question is on the northern property or the lot line adjustment. I was surprised with that little pop out where that, I believe that's where the drive access is, that gate. But I don't recall on your site plan for the development that there was, I thought that wall was continuous on the, would be the north side of that last house on that eastern end, that went straight across to the gate. And I'm trying to understand why this pop out's there.
That was for our trucks.
Yeah, are you talking
We
about-
requested it to go,
Yeah,
we requested it to go more towards the west. And bigger areas will come in and swing in.
Mhm.
But this was the option we agreed to, and that allows the truck cab to come farther in and then.
It makes for a nicer transition to back up between the pumps and the.
so the wall and the gate line will follow the property line as proposed. Jim, we lost Jim, Matt, just so you know, I don't know what happened, but Jim signed off.
Well, hopefully he'll reconnect. I'm sure he will.
I
But-
think that the way it works is once he quits, once he leaves the meeting, I don't know that he's gonna be able to sign back in. He can
Okay.
call, but I mean, I think we're almost there, so I don't know that we need him at this point, but.
Okay.
So as far as you know.
As far as I know, the wall traced the property line.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that northern
Yeah.
house will have a little bit inset to the north further than straight across where that gate is.
Yes.
So the gate will pop in a little bit basically to the project to give you a little bit more extra room. That was your request. Okay.
The wall.
And then we had all the dedications along Amherst that were required were part of the track map for the project, right? Because I know that there was some alignment issues with the sidewalk and everything on the north side. So I believe. the
My
track
recollection
map
is,
handles that.
yeah,
Okay. All right, I don't have any other questions or comments, so, Matt, anything else before we, take a motion here?
No, I think that's it. The only question I had is that you guys indicated, or Candace indicated, there's a 10-day appeal period to the ruling today. And then we can move to record the lot line adjustments at the expiration of that 10-day appeal period. Am I correct in that?
Yeah, and you could work with Cody at your own risk immediately to get the final documents ready for signatures. That way, after the 10-day appeal period is over, or as soon as possible after that, they can be sent in for recording. So there's no
That would be
reason why Jim can't work with Cody today to get these documents finalized. Doesn't sound like we're gonna make any changes to them, so.
Great. Okay.
So they can work together to get that handled so we could send them in after the appeal period.
yeah.
Hey,
my
guys, sorry,
recollection-
sorry, I dropped,
Conversation.
some reason my Zoom connection just cut out on me, so I'm back on, just in case you had some more questions.
I think we're okay. Thanks, Jim.
All right,
Cody?
So my recollection of conversation with the surveyor doing the plan check on the technical aspect was that these were pretty close or nearly there. So I don't imagine there being a whole lot of changes to resolve between now and those being ready to report.
Okay, well, with that, do I have a motion to approve the two case numbers?
I'll make a motion to approve based on adding the condition to
An easement for the
include that
drainage.
easement for the drainage for the parcel there to the west corner of the site.
Is there a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, you're approved 3-0, so.
Thank you,
yes.
guys.
Yes.
Thanks very much. I'll get with Jim and get these started in form for you, Cody, and we'll get them off.
Thank you.
okay,
Thanks,
bye.
guys. Bye-bye.
Aye. Okay, on the next item, which is case number 24-21 TR, Candace, you have your report.
The Emerald Collection Housing Development was approved back in 2015, and included with the approval of this project was a tree removal permit. It included the preservation of 5 oak trees, leaving a total of 1 significant oak tree to be removed and 3 to be relocated on the site. If any of the trees were lost during the transplanting process, the applicant was responsible for replacing those trees with 4 additional oak trees per tree that was lost. The oak tree being discussed today was one of the transplanted oaks that was relocated to the center median of the community. The oak tree had a caliber of 29.8 inches and was about 35 feet tall. The main concern with this oak tree, according to the certified arborist, was the fact that about 90% of the canopy was dead. The majority of branches, as well as portions of the trunk, had cracked bark and entry holes from boring insects. The cracking bark and insect boring damage created structurally weak branches with an increased likelihood of failure, which could have led to damage to property or injury to persons in the vicinity. For these reasons, the certified arborist, Gretchen Heimlich, gave her professional opinion that this tree should be removed as soon as possible. After staff reviewed the report from the arborist, the community development director approved the emergency tree removal with the condition that the replacement tree be brought back before the development review committee. According to the municipal code, the removal of the oak tree was justified as it was so diseased so that it could not be effectively preserved, and that the applicant demonstrated that retention of the tree could pose a threat to the health, safety, and welfare of the inhabitants of the property in question. The replacement is required unless the DRC determines that the replacement is inappropriate in views of the municipal code. If the DRC determines that the oak tree that was removed should be replaced according to the municipal code, it would be required that it be replaced with 4 48-inch box trees. The DRC is being asked to determine that according to the applicant, there is only sufficient space on the property for 2 24-inch box trees. The applicant is proposing to also plant 2 additional 24-inch box trees in the planter where the other oak tree was removed, and to donate 2 additional trees to the city for a park location. Staff recommends that the DRC approve the replacement recommendation presented by the applicant based on the staff report and the attached conditional approval letter.
Thank you, Candace. Committee members have questions, comments?
No questions.
Just, I want to confirm, so the requirement under the environmental document was for a 5-year, which would have required, wouldn't have allowed anybody to decide anything less than the 48-inch caliber replacement, correct?
Yes,
But that expired in 2020, thus there's more flexibility at this time.
yes.
Is there any reason why the 2 that are not being planted on site shouldn't be the 48-inch that's required for the code? I understand the reason for there's not room to plant the 2 on site at that size because of the space constraints. But if the other 2 are being donated to be planted somewhere else, I don't really see why those shouldn't be the 48 as required by, that only a year ago all 4 would have been required to be 48.
Right.
And so,
I agree with that. I do know that Clay has said in the past that he prefers smaller trees because they have a better chance at survival.
sure, and that was my second question, if you had spoken to the maintenance manager
Yes,
about the replacement and the donation, primarily the 2.
yes,
And in the past, he's indicated that the smaller means they're younger and they're more likely to establish in a new location versus an older tree like this one. This was one that was relocated,
yes,
that died.
yes.
So obviously it has less of a chance to be successful, right? The older it is. Okay. Do community members have feelings about that?
I mean, I think I'm on the same page as you. The 4 48-inch makes sense, but also in consideration that I also have the similar understanding that younger trees take easier. So, for the sake of a successful tree, it seems like that might be a reasonable approach.
I agree with that. Plus, it's probably easier to find locations for smaller trees.
Okay, so that is staff's recommendation, is to allow for the 2 24-inch on-site and donation of 2 24 for city placement.
Yes.
Do I have a motion on that recommendation?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, there you go. Now we will move on to the last item, which is Florida Park shade structure. Candace,
This is case number 50-21 PPR, or the city's Public Works Department has submitted an application requesting the installation of a new canopy structure at Florida Park, which is located at 1505 Holly Oak Street. There will be four triangle-shaped sails that create one larger triangle located in the middle of 3 existing baseball fields at Florida Park. Each sail measures about 36 feet by 26 feet by 25 feet triangles, some a little smaller. But the total size of the combined sails is about 73 feet by 53 feet by 60 feet, covering about a 2,000 square foot area. They will be 3 green sails and 1 tan colored sail in the middle. There will be a total of 6 tan colored posts ranging in height from 15 to 16 feet tall. The structures meet all required setbacks and development standards of the official zone. The proposed shades will not result in any impact in parking, traffic, or circulation of the facility and will be easily accessible. No further landscape improvements are proposed at this time. And with that, staff recommends that the DRC approve case number 50-21 PPR based on the staff report and findings of conditions of approval.
okay, Candace, or thanks, Candace. Community members have questions or comments for Candace?
Does the existing ground cover their turf? Because that's what I saw based on some of the aerial.
Yeah, yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
So is that grass tied? or-
Yeah.
is that grass?
There have been no indication of them changing the landscaping.
This is their sails, right? So there's
There's some
somewhat, they
sun.
let
Some
sun
light.
through, so it's not completely blocking it out. And so as far as you know, they're not planning on removing
No
irrigation
changes.
or anything else, so hopefully it stays in place. I think this is an area where parents or, people can go and watch any of the 3 games in a shaded outfield setting on the grass, sit on the grass with your chairs or whatever, so.
Yeah.
I suppose we could condition this that if that turf starts to fail or degrade, that we would have to look at putting in either something artificial or redoing it to be more hardscape or DG or something.
DG or some alternative surface that can survive under those conditions, yeah.
Any other comments or thoughts on this?
I think that's a good approach if the grass doesn't carry through.
So we have a recommended condition of approval that would basically require that portion be re-landscaped to allow for heavier use if the turf doesn't survive after the installation of the shade structures. With that added condition, is there a motion?
Motion approved as conditioned.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, there you go. And that item is done. That concludes this morning's Special Development Review Committee meeting. We will be adjourning to the next regular meeting of the DRC, which will be held on June 1st, 2021 at 9 a.m.